Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 324 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome to anyone who's new, and welcome back if we've hung out before. I'm super glad you're here. So I think a lot about how to be better today than I was yesterday and how we can all do that. And one way I think is to be really honest with ourselves about the excuses we use that just hold us back. We all do it or have done it. Maybe you're doing it right now. A lot of times, though, other people aren't going to call you out. So that's why you have to be honest with yourself about it. And that's not always easy, but that's what we're talking about today. I'm calling myself out in hopes that you see yourself in that a little bit, and maybe you can do the same. So I was with a design client the other day. This is one where we've worked together before, so he knows he likes what I do, and we have a common trust as far as our design client relationship goes. Now, we had attempted to start this project before the holidays, but it sort of stalled out for many reasons, a lot of them being me. And it's now March, and we're here, and we're picking it back up because he actually reached out and asked if we could get together to move it forward. I was really relieved, to be honest, to get his message because I'd been a little embarrassed that I had kind of dropped the ball there. And I was avoiding that phone call thinking, well, maybe he'd finished it with someone else or even just done it himself. I don't know. And it's been on my mind and kind of bothering me a little bit. So why didn't I just reach out instead of allowing it to be an unfinished loose end hanging out in my brain? It was really kind of giving me a little bit of anxiety. But after really thinking about it and analyzing it, I think that the reason why is because the project is a 30-minute drive there and a 30-minute drive back. So it's a little more inconvenient than most of my regular clients who are within a 10 or 15-minute drive usually. So anyway, we finally set up an appointment to meet, and I confessed to him that I was glad he reached out because I was embarrassed. So much time had gone by without my following up. Now, when I was talking to him about this, I heard myself using an excuse. I was giving excuses. Well, the holidays, and then my brother-in-law died suddenly, and I've been very focused on my older sister, Heather. And as I was saying it, it just even felt like an excuse. Now, it's a good excuse. It's very, very true. But my gut feeling is that I was simply using it because it wasn't the most convenient job I have going on. Now, I've only been spending a day a week with Heather, and it's about an hour and a half away. So it is a drive, and it has been a big change in my schedule, but that's one day out of my week. I had the time. It was just more convenient to not pick that project back up. Now, another time this last week, my husband, Eric, he asked me about Toastmasters. And I've talked about that a few times on my earlier episodes where I love Toastmasters. But I again heard myself say, well, when Steve died, it's my brother-in-law, Toastmasters just kind of fell off my radar. So there I was again, using that same excuse for the reason that I dropped off doing something that I was used to doing and something that really brought me joy, but also a lot of discomfort. And listen, Toastmasters is on a Friday morning at 7 a.m. Zero reason for me not to be picking that back up. And of course, missing a few when my brother-in-law first died was a must. But at this point, it's no longer valid for me to use that. I'm simply using it for convenience. And I know some of you right now are thinking, rolling your eyes, thinking, lighten up. That's hard when you lose a family member, and it is. But it makes it a lot harder when we stop the things that bring us joy and fulfillment and make our life better when hard things happen. I think we've forgotten that there are always going to be hard things that happen in life. You know, that old saying, I talk about it a lot, and Brooke Castillo talks about this a lot. Life is going to be hard, and then it's going to be fun and easy, and then it's going to be hard again, and then it'll be fun and easy again. This is just what 100% of humans go through. So if we drop good habits every time something hard happens in life, we'll have no good habits left. And we'll constantly feel like we're fighting an uphill battle because we stop and start those habits so many times that they feel hard every single time. Maybe you do this with the gym. Now, for me, going to the gym used to be a chore. Now it is just a part of my life that I can't live without because I've done it so consistently without ever stopping. Now, even through the hard times, I don't stop exercising. It's a part of my life. It makes me better. Now, a lot of times it does still feel like a chore, but it's a non-negotiable chore for me. Sometimes we drop things when life gets hard because it's convenient. We're looking for a reason to drop it. Well, like me dropping Toastmasters or a project that's a little farther away than I prefer. Not that I necessarily was looking to drop those, but it was very convenient. So I'm calling myself out for using an excuse, no matter how justifiable it was, to not do the things I know I should be doing or to stop doing the things that make me better. Toastmasters makes me better. It makes me uncomfortable, yes, but it's making me better. Leaving loose ends like calling my client back or other things that are bothering me, that's mind drama that's unnecessary. So I'm making a list today of things that I've been putting off or that have been creating a little bit of mind drama. And I'm just going to make a decision on each one of them. No more excuses allowed. And things will happen in all of our lives that are really, really hard. But we can't stop doing the things that make us better when that happens. And people around you are going to say, it's okay, take time off as much as you need. And it is, of course. But you have to decide for yourself and be really honest with yourself whether you have made it to the point to where you're using it as an excuse or not. And only you will know this. That's why it's important to be honest with yourself, because other people, meaning well, will keep you in that place of being a victim to the hard things in life. I was listening to a podcast with Lex Friedman, and he was interviewing Mr. Beast. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's a 24-year-old YouTuber. He holds the record for consistently having the most watched videos on YouTube, like hundreds of millions of views. He's in a totally another universe. So he was talking about how he stays so driven and so, so successful. But he said one thing, he doesn't surround himself with yes men, and he doesn't surround himself with people that encourage him to not play full out. He knows how he wants to live. He listens to his gut, and he knows when he needs to rest and when he doesn't, because people were always constantly saying, you work too hard, man. Slow down. Don't work weekends. Don't work that many hours. But he knew that he's okay doing that. He didn't want any excuses. That's what I expect from myself, to know when I'm making up excuses and when I'm not. To know when I'm just uncomfortable and using an excuse to get out of it. If something's uncomfortable and you're looking for an excuse to not do it, just give yourself a day or two and you'll have something. You'll have a good reason. We know that to be true. Hard things are unpredictable. That's what makes them so hard. You can't prepare for them. That's why you have to be honest with yourself. I mean, like just in 2020, the whole world had a really big, hard thing happen globally. Forever, COVID will be remembered. And for some, forever, COVID will be an excuse. We had a global pandemic and it was hard. The key word is had. Yes, it was tough. Yes, standards went out the window. Norms were lost. Good habits were stopped and bad habits almost encouraged. They were telling you, have Zoom happy hour every night. Don't leave your house. Don't go to the gym. Order your groceries so you don't ever have to go out. But COVID is over. And if you're still using it as an excuse for your extra 15 pounds or your lack of social connection or lack of getting out of the house or getting back to work, maybe it's time to call yourself out. COVID is just one of many good excuses any of us can use on a given day. I mean, we all have reasons we could justifiably come up with to quit our good habits or to add bad habits. Excuses are convenient, but they're dream killers. Excuses give us outs, but they also cripple us. Excuses are rampant, and they have no place in a wildly successful lifestyle. And some people will say, they'll be upset about this, and they'll say, how dare you take my excuse from me? And to that, I emphasize, sometimes I want to use my excuse. But I also want to say back to you, How dare you give one more ounce of your power away? Bad stuff happens to good people every single day. It's how you bounce back that matters. My challenge to you today is to think about any good habits that you've dropped or any bad habits that you've picked up. Is there a convenient excuse you're using to justify them? Only you can answer that, but maybe it's time to call yourself out. Share this episode with 3 people who will benefit or are human, because that's who needs to hear it. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.